Actually. And so today I thought we would do a lot of core lifting and how the core actually helps to levitate us, helps to lift us as we move, anti-gravity when we can access it, but also creates a deeper inner silence. So in honor of that, I'd like to read this Rumi poem. So go ahead and close your eyes. Begin to settle into the breath. And just connect deeply with the exhalation. And recognize a guide has entered this life in silence. Her message is only heard in silence. Take a sip of her precious wine and lose yourself. Don't insult the greatness of her love, for she helps all those who suffer in silence. Polish the mirror between the breaths. Isn't that a great one? Take a breath in and just visualize that, polishing the mirror between the breaths. Go with her beyond words. She knows your every deed. She is the one who moves the wheel of heaven in silence. Every thought is buried in your heart. She will reveal them one by one in silence. Turn each of your thoughts into a bird and let them fly to the other world. One is an owl, one is a falcon, one is a crow. Each one is different from the others, but they are all the same in silence. Oh, see the moon that cannot be seen. Turn your eyes inward and look at yourself in silence. In this world and the next, don't talk about this and that. Let her show you everything, shining as one in silence. That was fantastic. This one especially. Turn each of your thoughts into a bird and let them fly to the other world. So I have quite a joyous heart this morning. And so let's take that joyous silence. You know, silence doesn't always happen to be, dead silence. Can it be a joyous silence? An upliftment of the heart. As you inhale, sweep the arms wide and up. Exhale, reach the right arm down, left arm over. And just take a few breaths here. Begin to feel your own life force inside of you. Breathe you as you inhale and exhale. Just go ahead and sway in the wind. And then reach the arm up and let's go to the other side. And breathe here, sweeping the arms forward and back. And bring the arms back up and down. Let's come and reach the hands behind us, crisscross the legs in the opposite direction. Reach the arms back up towards the sky, interlace the fingers, bend the elbows, and press the palms away. As you press the palms away, round the back, almost to the point of falling off of your little bolster. Take a breath here. Feel the back body stretch. Welcome, Janet. And as you inhale, bend the elbows as if you're pulling your fingers apart. Welcome, Scout. No, I can't remember your dog's name. Exhale, round. Pull the bellies in. Inhale, bend. Exhale, round. Inhale, bend. And exhale, round. Inhale, bend. Now reach the hands down towards the floor. Come off of your bolster. Go ahead, because I want you to feel your sits bones by rocking from side to side and sliding your hands underneath your sits bones. So as we work with this uplifting quality of our core, we want to make sure we know where it is in case you had any doubts. And find your sits bones. Just do a little forward and backward rolling. And find those sits bones. I'm just loving your dog, Janet. All she wants to do is play, or he. You know, I mean, that's what dogs are good at, right? You're on the floor, you're rocking from side to side. That must mean you want to play with me. And then come back to center. Now feel those two sits bones and release your hands. So those are a little bit of a guidepost. And bring one of your index fingers to the pubic bone at the base of the front part of the spine, and one of your fingers to the midline of the body down towards the floor to your sacrum. So you've got these 4 points. You've got the pubic bone in front, the sacrum in back, and you've got your sits bones from side to side. So as you take a breath in now, release that, and as you exhale, begin to draw just the pubic bone or just the sits bones towards one another. Just rest your hands onto your thighs. Take an inhale into the belly, just a free belly breath. And then exhale, imagine those two sits bones are not only drawing together, but a little bit upward. Might not be able to feel that initially. I love doing this kind of detailed isometric work. It just brings me back to the core. And exhale. Pull those two sits bones towards one another, just like two strings pulling together. And release that. And now take the pubic bone and the sacrum and do the same thing for 3 times. Exhale, pull the pubic bone towards the sacrum. Now you might automatically feel a little lifting, and release. As you inhale, exhale, pull it together like you're pulling 2 strings towards one another. Imagine all those 4 points have little marionette strings attached to them. And one more time, a 3rd time as you exhale. Now all this is happening without a lot of activity on the outside, right? So now we're going to take all 4 of those points and we're going to pull them all up as if you collected all the strings and you were pulling the strings up. 2 sits bones, pubic bone, sacrum, and release. And again, pulling them up on the exhale and release. And now do that a little more quickly. Inhale, release, exhale, up, like a pulsing, up, up. Inhale, release. Now, certainly you'll feel the other glute muscles, the butt muscles. You'll feel some of your adductors working here in this position. But see if you can really access that floor, pelvic floor, pulling up and in. And release. Take a breath in. Now bring your hands onto your ribs, just below your breasts. And as you exhale, feel those ribs funnel in. So your back body will move a little bit more towards the back. It's like the 2 rib points, front rib points, right, on either side of your sternum are also tied to a string and they're pulling together. And do that a couple more times. And now we're going to pull all of that together. So your rib bones here connect to your transverse abdominis, which are also connected an insertion point right at the pubic bone. So as everything pulls in on the superficial abdominal area, those deep pelvic floor muscles are pulling in and up, and they all meet right in the core. Or in Tai Chi Chi, we call it the Dantian, our little energy source, our little Bunsen burner. So let's release that, take an inhale, and we'll do it gradually and progressively. As you exhale, sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum. Now knit your ribs and on up, and pause and release. As you inhale, Just let a full natural inhalation. Exhale, let's do that again. We'll do a total of 3 times. Sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum, ribs funnel in. This time we're going to pause for 2 counts and release a natural inhale. And a 3rd time, exhale, sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum, ribs funnel in, and pause for 3. Keep lifting, 2, keep lifting, 1. Now stay here as you breathe. Keep lifting into those core muscles. And notice how the breath now transfers from the belly on the inhale now up to the upper body. Now, I have heard some yoga teachers ask that their students retain this kind of internal contraction throughout their entire practice, but that is not something I recommend. It's not easy, first of all. And second of all, you want to have a full inhale and exhale. Let's just take one more and experience here. And then release everything. Good. Reach your hands behind you now. Let's bring the knees up, bring our feet wide, and let's do a little Swami walk. Dropping our knees towards the right, press your left hip forward. Inhale back to center, drop them towards the left, right hip forward. And just do a little pelvic tilt here. So we're just waking up the whole lower part of the body. Couple more, total of 6. And then swing those knees around. Let's come up onto our hands and knees and come into a few cat and dog tilts. So in addition to those deeper muscular contractions, of course, we can move the musculature on the outside, the external muscles. So in your inhalation, you've got your cow, full inhalation. And then as you exhale, you've got your cat tilt, right? So your tailbone drops, feel the sits bones lift, pubic bone to sacrum, even your ribs funnel in a little more naturally in this rounded back, this forward fold. And 2 more. Inhale, just take your time. You know, this movement we know we could do in our sleep. But have a deeper awareness. Find that deeper stillness. Now, in this last one, I want you to hold it. Hold the pose, keep the contraction, and continue to breathe and feel the breath now move to that upper body and primarily into the upper back. It's not that easy, requires focus, concentration. Keep those pelvic floor muscles lifted. And then gently shift back, child's pose. Let's stack fist on top of fist, forehead onto the fist. Notice the silence. One more breath here. And back up onto our hands and knees now. Let's bring our toes under, lift our hips at downward facing dog and walk it out. Heel, toe, heel, toe. Feel the swivel in your hips. Maybe accentuate the swivel in your hips and feel it rise up into your side bodies, right up underneath your armpit. And then both heels back, find that pelvic tilt in your down dog. Lift those sits bones towards the sky now. In this position, see if you can still lift the sits bones up and pubic bone to sacrum. Notice the difficulty in that as we're actually working with gravity and drawing the energy downward. Feel the ribs funnel in and then shift forward into a full plank. Again, sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum, lift the chest as the ribs funnel in. And now in this position, as you press back into your heels, a strong position, let's find a little bit of that tilting. The tailbone lifts up, it's our anterior tilt. And now drop the tailbone down, posterior tilt. Again, anterior tilt, or this is like our cow tilt. And then pull the bellies up and in, and a cat stretch. And then lower the knees, lower the chest all the way down. Shoulders up and back, arms by your side. Exhale here. As you inhale, lift both the chest and the legs, squeezing the shoulder blades together for 1. Exhale, lower down, rotate the head. Feel the chin gently lift as you undulate and lift back up. And then rotate the head to the other side as you lower down. A third time, just like you're floating, inhale up. It's actually kind of a counter pose. You're releasing those muscles and lower down. Shift back, child's pose. Exhale here. Let's come forward now and let's come back onto our forearms. So now a forearm plank. Feel the elbows underneath those shoulders. Feet are hip distance apart. Lift the hips a little bit to look back at those feet. A slight internal rotation as you lower the hips parallel to the floor. Bring sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum, and now find the tilt in the tailbone without collapsing. So find a little bit of a cat and cow tilt. This will come in handy as we continue to engage those pelvic floor muscles. This is work. Just do it 3 times. And then press the forearms in, lift the hips, begin to walk your feet forward and come into a dolphin pose. Press the forearms down into the floor. The head floats free. Feel the work in the arms, the stretch into the triceps, the backs of the calves. Press the heels to the floor. Feel the tailbone tilt up towards the sky as you take a few more breaths. And notice how you can walk your feet forward a little bit more. Let's take a few more breaths here as you squeeze shoulder blades towards one another a little bit more, pressing the forearms into the floor. So get nice and long, and then gently lower the knees back down onto the floor. Shift back, child's pose. Breathe into the low back. Take one more breath. And back up onto our hands and knees. Now let's take those same muscular contractions in a little more movement. Extend your right leg back, coming into bird dog. Square off those hips. The right toe is onto the floor. So start there and feel that right thigh squeeze up. And then once that right leg is stable, elevate that right straight leg straight back. The heel is flexed. Extend your left arm forward. Take a breath here. One more breath as you inhale, and then exhale. Bring your left knee to right, left elbow to right knee. And inhale, we'll just do that 3 times. Exhale. And then we'll hold. Extend the left leg out, left arm out, right leg back. Now bend your left elbow, placing your fingertips to your ear or to the back of your head. Feel that squeeze into the left shoulder. 3 more bird dogs, this time left elbow to left knee. As you exhale, tuck under, pull the bellies in. Inhale, extend. Now have a little more awareness of the pelvic floor lifting. Move a little more slowly. Keep your balance. We'll do a total of 6. A lot of core work today. And then extend the right leg back, the left arm out and down. Bring your right toe under, straighten your left leg, toe under, and back to downward facing dog. Take a breath or 2 here. Spread those fingers wide, shrug the shoulders down. Send your sits bones towards the sky as you pull the pubic bone towards the sacrum. Feel how the ribs want to pop out, so pull those rib points in. And then come forward, full plank. Feel the stability of your plank. Lower down. Again, Shavasana, arms by your side. You can squeeze and release into the fist a few, just to release into those wrists. And then shoulders up, back, and down. As you inhale, lift the chest, legs, arms. 3 belly breaths here. Feel yourself bobbing up and down. Lower down. Shift back. Child's pose. Exhale. Stretch through that lower back. Begin to feel some of the chatter dissipate as we come back up and do the other side. So many postures are quite adept at quieting the mind because they require more of your focus and attention. And one of them is balance poses. So extend your left leg back, left toe to the floor. Establish the stability into that left leg. Begin to pull sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum. Once that left leg is nice and stable, elevate it, parallel to the floor. Release the right arm by your right ear. Get nice and long. Keep that left shoulder down. Feel your balance as you breathe. And then 3 bird dogs here. Exhale, right knee, right elbow, left knee. And then pause, hold, keep the extension, bend the right elbow, bring the right fingertip to the ears or to the back of the head. And we're going to cross under our body as we exhale. Inhale, lift. 3 more times here. And we'll do 6. Feel the core work. Extend here, release the right arm out, left toe down, right hand down, step yourself back into a downward facing dog. Let those sits bones lift up towards the sky as you inhale. And then scoot your toes back, come forward into your full plank, lower the knees down, flatten the feet, walk your hands back towards your knees. Let's stand on our knees and release both wrists as we come into Vajrasana. Arms up towards the sky, get a nice long side body. Exhale to the small of the back and rotate the head to one side. So stretching into the neck and again up. And a third time. Let the arms come forward now. Back up onto your hands and knees. Back to our dolphin. We're going to do some diving dolphins. So you always have the option, if that's not good for shoulders, Ronnie, to come into your down dog instead of a dolphin. But working, strengthening the core. Feeling how in this position, either down dog or forearm dog, aka dolphin, feel those sits bones lift towards the sky, the bellies pull up and in. Press the elbows in, chest towards your thighs. Knit the ribs in. This is not particularly easy and or comfortable, but let's take it a little further. Scoot your toes back, keep the bellies lifted now. And as you lift your chest, come forward into a plank, forearm plank, touch the chin down, press into your forearms, lift the chest, and let the chest float through the arms. Diving dolphin. Inhale forward, exhale, press the forearms in. This requires more than upper body strength. Lift the belly. Feel how the belly lifts you back and down, creating some buoyancy. 2 more. Can you do it? If not, do your down dogs. You guys are looking good. And 1 more. Well done. Lower down. Shift back child's pose. Release your arms by your side. Let's do one more round of Vajrasana, this time with the arms forward. Sweep the arms wide and up. Exhale, arms forward. You can always bring them to the lower back. Inhale, arms forward and up. Now hands to the small of the back. And we'll do one more just like that. Inhale up. Arms wide and up. Exhale, arms forward. Pull the bellies in, strong back. Inhale, back up. And exhale to the small of the back. Back up onto your hands and knees. Bring the toes under, downward facing dog. Take about 3 breaths here. And then shift your weight to your left foot. Extend your right leg straight back. Now open up your right hip so you're standing in a balance on your left leg. Externally rotate both thigh bones into the pelvis as best as you can. Keep your right heel flexed. Similar to our side plank. Now press your right ribs towards the sky and straighten your arms. Breathe into your belly, release those side bodies. And then parallel those hips. Look forward, slide the left hip back. Let your gaze drop down as the right leg lifts straight up, and then bring the right foot forward. High lunge on the right side. Let's do a few leg pumps here. Hands onto the block or onto the floor. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. And then lower the left knee down, flattening the right foot, glide the right hip back, walk the hands up onto the right thigh. Keep this right palm onto the right thigh. As you bend into the right knee, extend your left arm up. So feel how you're stabilizing. You can even pull back on that right knee. And 2 more breaths, a total of 6. And lower the left hand down onto the floor. Bring the left toe under, elevate the left leg. So now you're in a high lunge here. Left hand onto the floor, onto the block. Reach the right arm around towards the right, up towards the sky, spinal twist. Draw the bellies in. Feel the sits bones lift, pubic bone to sacrum, and feel how that facilitates a deeper twist. And then bend your right elbow again, right fingertip to the back of your head or your ears. Let's do a few times here. Right elbow to left inner elbow as you exhale. Inhale up, twist. Let's inhale down. Let's see what happens here. Exhale up. Inhale down. And exhale up. Stay up here and extend the right arm back up for 3 more breaths. Shoulders down. Fingertips wide. And then lower the right hand down, both hands onto the floor. Step yourself back into a downward facing dog. Take a breath or 2 here. Feel the difference, right, left side. So let's do the right side now. As we stand on our right leg, extend your left leg straight back. Start there. Lift the left leg up, keep the left leg straight, and open the left hip. So a slight, or more than a slight, external rotation in your left leg. Right leg, you'll do the best you can to really provide that stability. Take a breath here. Your left foot is flexed, and then reach your left ribs towards the sky as you press into your arms. Feel the release into those side bodies here. And then parallel those hips. Take the time to slide the right hip around the backside to square off the hips. Look forward and then drop your gaze as you lift your left leg up. Keep those hips square. And then sweep the left foot forward, a high lunge on the left side. And let's do about 6 leg pumps here as you exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Couple more. Just warming up those hips, and then lower down the right knee. Walk your hands up to your left thigh. Slide the left thigh back. Maybe even hold on to that knee. So feel the hips square. And then as you bend the left knee, reach the right arm up. A nice stretch into the psoas on the right side. And then sweep the right arm down onto the floor, onto the block, right toe under, elevate the right leg. High lunge again. Now sweep your left arm to the left and up, a spinal twist. And take a breath here, glide the left hip back. Now feel the sits bones pull in, pubic bone to sacrum, feel that facilitate a deeper twist. And then bend that top elbow, fingertips to the left ear or to the back of the head. And as you inhale, dip your left elbow to the inner right elbow. Exhale, lift it up. Twist a little more, never yanking. Inhale, use the awareness of the pelvic floor lift to facilitate a deeper twist. Take your time. We'll just do about 3 here. And then extend your left arm back up and breathe for 3. And then lower the left hand down, bring both hands onto the floor now. Step back into your downward facing dog. Both hips send them towards the sky. And now lift your heels. As you lift your heels, feel the sits bones pull together, pubic bone to sacrum, ribs funnel in, begin to feel yourself pull forward. Lower down chaturanga. Hands stay where they are. Shoulders up and back, flatten the feet, cobra. 3 breaths here. Pull back on the heels of the hands, elbows stay bent. Low cobra. Lower down, shift yourself back into a child's pose, but cross the right ankle over the left calf. Let's release a little tension in the calf. Maybe a little massage as you swirl that right ankle around. Back up onto your hands and knees. Let's do the other side. And then back up onto your hands and knees. Cross one way or the other way you choose. And let's roll over and come to a seated pose. And let's come down onto our backs. We'll spend a little time on our back here, working with our core. Bring the knees to the chest, rock gently from side to side, and just feel a little massage. Or maybe you just feel very loose in the low back and hip area. Let's reach around and find our block. We're going to slide it between our thighs as we bring our feet back down onto the floor, activating those adductors for a little additional strength and support. Everything pulls up and in when we work with the core. Arms down by your side now, press into your feet, squeeze into the block, feel the accentuation of the pelvic floor lift now in this position. Sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum, and lift the hips up towards the sky. Arms by your side, back of the neck long, and lower down as you inhale. Exhale up. Feel everything pull in, inhale, lower down. Exhale up, we'll stay here now. And breathe for 3 breaths. Interlace your fingers underneath, squeeze shoulder blades together. Just have a free breath in your belly. Have a 4th of July party in your belly. But really, you're creating silence. The counter pose to fireworks is silence, yeah? And then release those hands and gently lower down, vertebra by vertebra. Remove the block, bring it to your side. Walk your feet wide, your knees together, and just feel. How do you feel this silence? Much like we cultivate our practice, we cultivate our back bends, we cultivate our garden, we cultivate silence. And then walk your feet back underneath your hips. Bend the right knee and the left knee towards your chest. And imagine now you're squatting on the ceiling. It's like a happy baby pose, but don't reach for your feet, right? You're just squatting on the ceiling. Reach the arms overhead. And then bring the arms back up towards the ceiling in between your legs and pull your legs to meet the arms. Feel that resistance of the thighs or knees, calves or knees pressing inward and your arms resisting. Now let's do some belly or transverse abdominis lifts here. So you're going to draw the rib bones, rib heads in and reach your fingertips towards the sky as you roll up and lower down. Inhale, just feel the ribs funnel in and lift up. And lower down and lift up. Exhale and lower down. Total of 6. 2 more and 1 more. Lower down, bring the knees to the chest. Keep your feet onto the floor now as you drop your feet down, knees wide, and do a few little windshield wiper washes with your knee from side to side. Bring your knees back towards center. Walk your feet back underneath your knees and bring your knees back towards your chest. This time the knees are together. Reach the arms overhead. Interlace your fingers. Bend your elbows now and place the fingertips either to the ears or cradle your head with your interlaced fingers. Now extend both legs towards the sky. As you exhale, once again, feel those rib heads in the front of the body pull up and in, and then lower down. Exhale up. Total of 6. And now extend your right leg forward, left knee towards your chest. We'll do 6 bicycles now, alternating right elbow to left knee and left elbow to right knee. Take a breath in. Total of 12, 6 on each side. Exhale and switch. Exhale, left elbow to right knee. Switch. Exhale. Feel the heat build. Couple more. Last one, last set. And then lower down. Keep your hands behind your head. Bend your knees to your chest. Take a breath in. And a breath out. And then extend both legs towards the sky. Now, as you exhale, let's see if we can just lift the sits bones and the pubic bone and press the feet towards the sky. Not a huge range of motion, but let's do 6. Pull up and in, that marionette strings lifted. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Those I find so unsatisfying. Bring the knees to your chest. Let's put them all together in a few rock and rolls. So as you reach the legs towards the sky, reach behind your thighs and grab the backs of your thighs. As you exhale, feel the sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum. Feel how that lifts your hips. Draw the legs overhead, and then engage and pull together those transverse and roll up and roll back. So just begin to notice that your rock and roll is not so willy-nilly. You're actually using both your deep core muscles of the pelvis and your abdominal muscles. Roll all the way over. Let's come on to our hands and knees. No, let's just come all the way over and come all the way up, back up onto our sits bones. Sorry, Ronnie. And reach around and find your sits bones again. And then bring your knees together. Let's come into a supported half boat pose. One more round of core. Are you feeling it? Extend the arms as you extend the legs on the inhale. Then everything pulls in. Exhale together. Inhale straight. Exhale together. Inhale straight. Let's bring our palms together in a prayer as we do this. Unless you need to support the hands behind your thighs. Feel how you're rolling behind your sits bones and then towards the sits bones. Couple more. And last one here. And then cross the right foot in front of the left, maybe even stack if you want to come into a double pigeon. And let's stretch into those hips into a forward fold. Take a few free breaths here. So all this core prep work is in preparation for Lolasana, which translates to pendant, a beautiful hanging pendant on the outside with fierce, strong gem stones on the inside. One more round of our Navasana. Inhale the chest up. Let's bring our feet back onto the floor. Take a breath in. Now this time, let's bring our palms together and we're going to go alternate to the outsides of the legs as we come together, right? So inhale, extend, exhale to the left. Inhale, extend, exhale, right. Try nostril breathing. And one more set. And then crisscross left in front of right or left on top of right. Reposition the hips for double log or crisscross your legs and a forward fold here. Take a few free breaths here. Feel those side bodies. One more breath here. And then lift the chest forward. Bring your knees back up. Let's extend both legs forward a little bit wider than the mat. I'm a little bit at an angle here. Lift your sits bones behind you or lift your excess so you can feel your sits bones. Flex both feet. A slight bend into the knee. Reach both arms forward and up. And as you exhale, come halfway. So your heels are in the floor, the knees are slightly bent. Keep the back body long. Now, if the arms are too heavy for you, let's bend the elbows like goalposts. Yeah, there you go, Ronnie. Keep the chest lifted. Keep pressing into the heels. So you feel this deep internal rotation as you release into the lower back, and then allow yourself to just fold over. You're welcome to straighten the legs or not. Legs don't have to be too wide. Relax the back of the neck. Breathe into the back body. And then lift the chest forward. Walk the hands back. Jiggle your legs back towards one another. And let's cross the right in front of the left as we place our blocks on either side of our hips. So you can also bring them to the second height if they're sturdy enough. Shrug the shoulders up and back. Now, before we play with our Lolasana, our hanging pendant, which is all core work, just close your eyes and get a sense of that silence. And very silently on your next exhalation, can you pull your sits bones towards one another, pubic bone, sacrum, and then bring it all together with the transverse abdominis and round your back like a cat stretch. Stay here, keep it lifted and still breathe in the upper body. Feel the work we've just done. And then let the chest lift. Reach your right arm down towards the floor and reach your left arm over. So just release the left lateral side bodies. Maybe bend your left elbow, rotate towards the left. Reach your left arm up and let's do the other side. Right arm over. Bend the right elbow, rotate towards the right. Feel how that silence, that quietness on the inside is very sustainable. And reach the right arm up and bring your hands down. Now let's bring that together with a little more muscular action. Take a breath in, shoulders up, back, and down. So we're going to be using triceps a little. Just press into your palms and without doing anything else, just straighten your arms as you lift up. So you find the right placement for the palms. It might be a little too far behind you, Janet. You might want to pull the blocks forward a little bit. And do that again. Just adjust so you can find that easily. And now with your right foot still placed in front of the left, take a breath in. Press your heels into the floor so the knees slightly lift. Shoulders up and back as you exhale. Sits bones, pubic bone to sacrum. Take a breath in. As you exhale, funnel the ribs, round the back. Press the heels into the floor and squeeze towards midline as you press your palms into the block. So lift your hips. But you're in this rounded cat stretch position. Pull the bellies up and in. Keep it lifted. One more breath. And lower down. Lean back, extend the legs forward into Navasana. And crisscross in the other direction. Now this alone would be really good prep, just back and forth like this. Take a breath here, shoulders up and back. Remember how we did the little pulsing? Let's do a little pulsing again. All 4 points, pulse up and release, up, release, up. This is very Italian. And one more. Perturbation. Good. Shrug shoulders up and back. Now we'll bring the transverse abdominis in as we press the palms in and lift. So take a breath in. Press the heels into the floor. Activate a little bit of that. Pull the heels towards one another. As you exhale, sits bones, pubic bone, transverse abdominis. Press in, lift everything up. Press the heels to the floor. Squeeze the heels towards midline. For 3, keep breathing, keep lifting. And 1, and lower down. Extend the legs up. Navasana feels like a piece of cake after that, right? Bring the feet to the floor. Extend the legs forward. Take a breath in. Arms forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Walk your hands over towards the left and feel your side bodies on the right side stretch. So this whole lifting up, elevating, illuminate. It's like pulling all those muscles up and in, a little suction. And then walk your hands over towards the right. And all those core muscles are working. So we're just releasing and stretching into those lateral core muscles now. As a little counter pose, and then we'll come into full Lolasana. Walk your hands back towards center. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands back down. Cross the right in front of the left. Now you can do the first one. We'll start there. But then once we get lifted, I'm going to ask you to lift a little more and lift your feet off the floor. like a pendant and swing. Let's see how we do. Shoulders back and down. Press the heels in, pull the heels or ankles towards one another. That's a better cue. Pressing your ankles in so the knees are already lifted. Next exhalation, sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum. Now funnel the ribs in, press the palms up, lift, take a breath in, exhale, keep squeezing, lift the feet. Maybe do a little rocking for 2 more breaths, and then lower down, release. How was that? Let's do a celebratory boat pose. Yeah. And then let's crisscross the other direction. All right, this time I'm gonna watch. Let's take a breath here. So start with the left foot in front now. Begin by pressing your heels to the floor and maybe pulling your ankles towards one another. So feel how the knees already lift. All the legs are attached to the pelvis now. So we locked and loaded. Shoulders up and back as you inhale. So now the shoulders are set down. As you exhale, sits bones together, pubic bone, sacrum. Draw the transverse in as you press the palms in, lift up, stay here, keep breathing on your neck, round the back like a cat stretch. So you're tilting forward. Now lift your feet. There you go, Janet. Good, 1 more breath. Good, and lower down. Excellent, celebratory boat pose. When did boat pose become a celebration? And then let's cross at the ankles. Let's come forward onto our hands and knees. Shift back, child's pose. Glide the hands back. Let's come all the way onto our knees. Release our wrists as we inhale, come on up. Let's release those side bodies. Exhale, left arm forward, right hand to the small of the back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, right arm forward, left hand to the small of the back. Inhale, back up. Exhale, both arms forward, forward fold. Back up onto our hands and knees, bring our toes under. Downward facing dog. Now feel the lift into the hips, the sits bones up towards the sky. Shoulder blades down, back of the neck is long. Pull and funnel in those ribs. Shift your weight to your right foot now. Extend your left leg back and up. Bend your left knee this time and open up into your left hip. Keep the bellies lifted, parallel the hips. Straighten your legs, shift forward a full plank. Now drop your heels to the left, side plank, and reach the right arm up. Pull those belly muscles up and in, press into your bottom foot. Maybe you can bend your right knee and bring your right foot to the inner left thigh. Reach the right arm overhead. And then right arm comes back up, back down onto the floor, back to your downward facing dog. Inhale forward, full plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back to down dog. Good. Feel where the strength is coming from. Take a breath here. Do the other side. Shift your weight to your left foot. Extend your right leg straight back and up. And then bend your right knee. Externally rotate that right knee up towards the sky. Left hip also externally rotates like we did in the beginning. Feel those side bodies nice and long. And then extend the right leg as you parallel the hips. Shift forward, full plank. Drop your heels to the left, right arm underneath the right shoulder. Extend your left arm up. Now keep this bottom foot nice and stable. Keep your hips lifted. Sits bones together, pubic bone to sacrum. Bend the left knee. Bring the left foot to the inner right thigh if you can. Take 1 more breath here. And then lower the left hand down, parallel the hips, back to your plank, back to your downward facing dog. Inhale forward, full plank. Exhale, chaturanga, up dog. Exhale, down dog. And then bend your knees to the floor as you inhale. Shift your hips back into prenatal child's pose. Reach for one of your blocks. Place it underneath your forehead, arms by your side. Feel the stillness. And then back up onto your hands and knees now. Reach around as you sit down. Extend your legs forward. Reach for your strap. If it's already looped, you can open the loop. We're just going to bind our legs a little bit. So even if you're not looped, you can just strap above the knees, below the thighs, and just tie yourself in a little bow here, or a little slip knot. As you scoot forward, come on down onto your back with your knees bent, feet onto the floor, and just do a slight resistance there. And relax, and do that again. Resisting to the strap, arms come down by your side, spin the palms towards the ceiling. And release. And one more. As you exhale, resist into the strap, press into the feet, and lift all the way up. Back of the neck is nice and long. Feel that deep stretch in the back body. Deep stability, deep silence as you slowly lower down vertebra by vertebra. Come halfway down, reach the arms towards the sky, palms facing one another, interlace the fingers, press the palms, and now lower down the rest of the way and see if you can just really feel vertebra by vertebra. Land as you press the palms away. Release the arms by your side, bring your knees back towards the chest for one. And extend your legs forward into Shavasana with the thighs bound. And just let your legs release and relax and breathe into your belly. Relax the muscles around the strap. And as your breath returns to its even inhale and exhale, polish the mirror between the breaths. Allow the guide to enter your life in silence. Now begin to lengthen your exhale a little bit more and see if you can dive into a deeper pool of silence. Maybe you can see the moon that cannot be seen. Turn your eyes inward and look at yourself in silence. And now retaining that sweet stillness, begin to Increase your inhalation now as you wiggle fingers and toes. And as you exhale, slowly glide your heels on the floor. Take your time. Feel the muscles already primed. Allow a little ease to bring those knees with the bound thighs. And then release the strap and bring both knees towards your chest. Rock from side to side. And when you're ready, either rock and roll using all of your core strength and awareness now, or roll to your side and come up into a comfortable seated posture.